The preparation of self. The realization that we are ever in His presence is not always easy when we allow the cares of the world to creep in and draw us away in body and mind. As we are in various stages of growth, so we are in different states of consciousness. What might be absolutely necessary for the preparation of self for one of us, for another might be secondary. It is well, however, for all to observe the laws of righteous judgment and clean living. Special hours for meditation and prayer, that we may be strengthened during times of severe temptation and trials. The realization that He is ever with us, whether we are in sorrow or joy, for mind is the builder. Such standards of conduct that others may know that what we profess with our lips to believe is in keeping with that which we hold as our ideal. We should be living examples of what we profess. Many of us follow from afar, and our actions are not in keeping with the Christ consciousness. We often give others the wrong impression of His attributes manifesting through us. If ye love me, keep my commandments. What are His commandments? Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my little ones, ye have done it unto me. I will come again, and receive you unto myself. That where I am in consciousness, there ye may be also. Finally, as we abide in His presence, though there may come trials of every kind, and though tears may flow from the breaking up of the carnal forces within, the Spirit is made glad, even as He in the hour of trial smiled upon him by whom he was denied. Let us remember that physically, mentally, and spiritually we continually reflect our understanding of His presence. Let us study to show ourselves approved unto Him day by day. For in so doing the light of His presence shows forth in our precepts, in our examples, in our words, and in our works. As we look upon our fellow humans, we find that their activities, in whatever sphere they may be, are expressions of the attitudes they have builded regarding God. Their life reflects what they worship. Their actions show the Spirit which is within them. Are they not using the same measure for us? In the physical body, good health is a reflection of our observance of physical laws. Even the small details involving the care of the body are important, for they are either in accord with laws that bring a finer type of expression or lead to inharmony. The physical surroundings, the type of companions sought, and every physical action expressed to others are concept of how near God, law, and love are to us. As the activities of the body reflect the strength of the physical person, so the activities of the mind reflect the strength of the mental body. The question of controlling our actions physically is in part answered by laws and customs made by mortals. But the problems of controlling our thoughts, which truly may be just as harmful and out of tune with the infinite, are personal matters which must be met by each individual. Thought vibrations go out, words are spoken, deeds are done, and all carry to others their influences and their impressions of our understanding of God. How spiritual are our lives? How often do we seek through meditation and prayer contacts with our Creator? Do our attitudes and our philosophies of life center about a spiritual ideal? Others look for these signs and are influenced by them. We believe, but do we express our belief in our words, thoughts, deeds, and attitudes? For, in the earth the body is the temple of the living soul. And here in the temple may one meet with one's Maker, and thus become aware of His consciousness dwelling within, and of self-being. Through the knowledge of self, physically and mentally. In accord with those purposes for the fulfilling of those activities, He would bring in the experience. In such a body, in such a seeking, there must first then be cast aside jealousy, fear, backbiting, grudge, hard feelings towards anyone. This in itself will make for a better attitude for meeting the physical forces necessary for correction in this body. 4. As has been experienced by the body, if there are the feelings of fear, grudges, or of being in the position of being repressed within, either from the mental attitudes or from the greater associations in material relationships, there is little that assimilates properly, even when food values are considered and adhered to. Keep, in thine meditations, that of the Christ consciousness being magnified in thee day by day. So will this cast out fear, that becomes a stumbling block at times to thine own endeavors. For we, human-like, so easily forget the promise that if ye abide in me, I will abide in thee, and what ye ask in my name, believing, ye shall have. The way ye know, for as I go to the Father and abide in him and ye in me, so is the Father magnified in the earth through that promise, as is kept by thee in me day by day. Then, who and what would the entity have to direct self in such experiences? To be loosed without a governor or a director may easily become harmful. But as we would give, from here, let not such a director be that of an entity. Rather so surround self with the universal consciousness of the Christ, as to be directed by that influence as may be committed to thee. Thus the entity may use constructively that which has been attained. But to prevent physical harm, mental harm. Attune self and body and in mind with that influence by which the entity seeks to be directed. Not haphazardly, not by chance, but as of old. Choose thou this day whom ye will serve. The living God within thee, by thee, through thee? Or those influences of knowledge without wisdom that would enslave or empower thee with the material things which only gratify for the moment? Rather choose thou as he of old. Let others do as they may, but as for thee, serve thou the living God. Thus ye may constructively use that ability of spiritual attunement, which is the birthright of each soul. Ye may use it as a helpful influence in thy experiences in the earth. But make haste slowly. Prepare the body. Prepare the mind, before ye attempt to loosen it in such measures or manners, that it may be taken hold upon by those influences, which constantly seek expressions of self, rather than of a living, constructive influence of a crucified Savior. Then, crucify desire and self. That ye may be awakened to the real abilities of helpfulness that lie within thy grasp. How can I achieve a theology that will have meaning for me? Live that day by day ye would preach to others. Ask no one to do that ye do not do yourself. Considering my age of 61, what is condition of general health? You can be 40% better. Why not try it? You'll be happier, you'll do much better work for others. Do that. Be good for something and not merely just good. Be in the position where what you preach you practice, and what you practice is applicable to everyone, and not to just a few who think like you do. The truths are: the Lord is one, and whether the lesson is obtained in a greeting of thy fellow man, in the words of wisdom to thy brother, or in the manner in which you swap horses with a man, it may be the same lesson given by the Master in the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. These are attitudes, then. These are conditions in the heart, the soul, the mind of the individual, and ye make practical application of same as ye deal with thy fellow man. For in the manner that ye treat thy neighbor, thy brother, ye are treating thy God. And as to whether ye grow in grace, in knowledge, in understanding, depends upon the manner in which ye apply that ye do know. But seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. And as ye would that others should do to you, do ye even so to them. Are thy relationships, thy friendships, such that ye need only to mention or to speak of or to act at or like there is never any communication with same? Or are they renewed with the memory of those periods when thou wert enjoined one with another, in a common purpose, in a oneness of desire? The same do those find in their periods of meditation, their periods of seeking to become one with those promises made by him that gave, I go, but will come again and receive you unto myself. Did he say as many as have forgotten to keep my ways, as many as neglected to show forth my love? Rather, he that abides in me. He that showeth forth the love I have shown thee. For, as ye do it unto the least of my brethren ye do it unto me. So, in thy undertakings be. As has been given off that ye are. The sons and daughters of a merciful heavenly Father. Do ye quit yourselves like men? Do ye act in that way and manner? That one not knowing that thou hast claimed, would know that thou hast chosen to be a channel for the manifestation of that love in the earth? Then, in every manner show forth that love. In decency, in order, in love, in cherishing that which has brought, does bring in thine experience the great, the happy, the joyous moments of thy manner and ways of expression. These, my children, will show thy growth. For he hath given, ye grow in grace, in knowledge, in understanding. Ye do not put on thy claims as a coat, as a cloak to be laid aside. No. Rather ye gird on same as ye become one with him. Thy speech, thy manner of activity will show forth what thou art. But know that thy body is indeed the temple of the living God. And he has promised to meet thee. Keep that body as the temple of God. Supply it with all the beauties as ye would a physical service to him that ye would honor most. In thy heart, in thy body, in thy mind, in thy purpose. And let it ever be with that spirit of truth as manifested in him. I go unto the Father, that where I am ye may be also. It may be thine now if ye will accept it. As ye did in the upper room. Ye, too, oft doubt. Ye, too, oft fear. Yet he is surely with thee. And when ye at this glad season rededicate thy life, thy body, thy mind to his service. Ye, too, may know, as they, that he lives. And is at the right hand of God to make intercession for you. If ye will believe. If ye will believe that he is, ye may experience. For as many as have named the name, and that do unto their brethren the deeds that bring to them, to you, that closeness, oneness of purpose with him, may know. Ye, too. In body, in mind, that he lives today, and will come and receive you unto himself, that where he is there ye may be also. Thus the records of each entity are a part of the universal consciousness, and inasmuch as ye did it unto the least of my little ones, ye did it unto me. These are the channels, these are the records then that ever stand as that angel before the throne, that there may be intercession. For, as the Spirit of the Christ is one, and the individual entity in its manifestations of thought, purpose and desire, makes its awareness one with that consciousness, so may that soul awareness come. For, ye find thyself body, mind, soul. These three bear witness in the earth. And the Christ consciousness, the Holy Spirit and thy guardian angel bear witness in the Spirit. There has also come a teacher who was bold enough to declare himself as the Son of the living God. He set no rules of appetite. He set no rules of ethics, other than as ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, and to know inasmuch as ye do it unto the least of these, thy brethren, ye do it unto thy Maker. He declared that the kingdom of heaven is within each individual entity's consciousness, to be attained, to be aware of. Through meditating upon the fact that God is the Father of every soul. Jesus, the Christ, is the mediator. And in him, and in the study of his examples in the earth, is life. And that ye may have it more abundantly. He came to demonstrate, to manifest, to give life and light to all. Here, then, ye find a friend, a brother, a companion. As he gave, I call ye not servants, but brethren. For, as many as believe, to them he gives power to become the children of God, the Father. Joint heirs with this Jesus, the Christ, in the knowledge and in the awareness of this presence abiding ever with those who set this ideal before them. The entity then was among the Persians who came into the city in the hills and the plains, aiding that leader, that teacher there, to make practical in the experiences of those that came as wanderers or as seekers, the proclaiming of the perfect day of those that sought for healing in body, in mind, and in the understanding of those simple truths that have ever been, will ever be. The way that binds the hearts and minds of men to their relationship to the creative forces, as ye do it unto the least of thy brethren, the manner in which ye meet thine activities of love, of hope, of patience, of way of living to thy fellowmen, ye do it unto thy God. For as thy brother, as thy fellowman is as thyself a representative, a portion of that love, that hope, that soul that is the kinship to the Father God, so as ye treat thy fellowman ye do it unto thy Maker. For each soul enters an earthly experience with problems within its own experience, as well as for relationships that are to be met in the light of constructive influences. For while there is prepared in the experience of each individual the ways and means through which the soul may attain its understanding, and there is the advocate with the Father through the Son, each soul, as the Son manifested in the flesh, meets those experiences. For if ye would be like him, put on him, that he may stand with thee in those periods when doubt or fear arises, or when those influences arise from the very association of spirit with matter. That becomes the experience of each soul. For it is the soul that seeks its companionship with its Maker, and in the flesh finds means of expressions that make forever true that as he has given, as ye do it unto these, the least of these my children, ye do it unto me. So in the experiences of each soul, not only are they to become opportunities for self-expression, but that others, too, through the experiences of their association, may bring into their own experience their relationships as one to another. As thou didst suffer in body, as thou didst grow strong in thine mental and material experience in the embracing of those tenets that he gave, so may ye be the same in the present. For, as he gave, if ye love me ye will keep my commandments, ye will take my cross upon thee and learn of me. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light, if ye will bear it in me, and not of thyself. For meeting thine own self and thine own undoings, will ye bind them with the bonds of love as he gave when he came unto his own, and his own received him not. So as ye come to thine weakness, find thine strength and thine power and thine love in him. And life's pathways will grow brighter, though the road may be rough, though there may be words that are harsh. Yet as thou lookest upon that tower of strength in thine seal as of the pyramid, as thou reliest upon the cross of him who bore it for thee, the rose of love, light and radiance, will bear thee up, and thou wilt not dash thy foot against a stone. Each soul is given the opportunity to manifest in the material plane, and he, Jesus, the Christ, has shown how that God's promises may manifest in the lives of individuals as they deal with their fellow men day by day. The entity then knew persecution and want physically from same. Yet caught a glimpse through those periods of that faith, that hope that brings into the present experience a joy in being of a service to others. From that lesson is gained then from the words he spoke at the Last Supper. He that would be the greatest among you will be the minister, the servant. Serving others. This was the entity's hold upon those experiences there. And many conditions that have arisen from those activities in these directions, we find many controversies have come within the scope of the entity's experience. That makes for those questionings as to the ability of self. Yet he that doubts self first loses interest in and doubts the other fellow, for should there be the expectancy, the faith, the confidence of associations in any direction, it must ever rise from that has been builded in self. Faults in others are first reflected in self. When such conditions arise in the experience of an entity, there should be first those considerations of that in self that has produced such a reflection, so that the God shining through any activity is lost sight of by self in the fellow man. Especially one that is seeking for the spiritual activities in a material plane, and he that would gain the world and lose self's own soul, has lost all. The preparations, as we find, are as has been outlined. First, there must be the willingness on the part of an individual to be used by those forces, that the body and its activities may be a channel of blessings to others, accepting him, the master, as the guide, and relying upon the promises that were made by him. That are living in the lives of those who accept him as their counselor, their guide, their brother, in the love that the Father may show through the activities of self to the glory of the Son in the earth. Using, then, that which has been prepared by such a group, who have consecrated their lives, their activities, to such a service, rather as a guide. Yet knowing that as the applications in the daily life of self are lived in accordance with his will, there is given to each, according to their own several abilities, to become laborers in his vineyard. The fields are white unto the harvest. Will ye enter in today? Knowing that peace, that joy, that comes from those promises, that my presence, my peace, will abide and guide thee in thine efforts day by day. In this manner of consecration of self, self's abilities, in service to him, may there come that joy, that peace, in that service. Study to show thyself approved in not merely lip service, not merely formality, but in the very joy of living, in the very joy of expressing and giving hope. It can only be done as ye maintain and hold to the love which he manifested. It is in giving to others, in bringing into their experience and awareness that joy which ye find in knowing, as ye did in those experiences, that ye oft walk and talk, as it were, with him. Study first to show thyself approved unto God, a workman not ashamed, but presenting thy body as a living sacrifice, known of others for thy good deeds. Rightly applying the words of truth, keeping self unspotted from the condemnation in thine own understanding. Excuse everything in others. Condemn not self or others but love the Lord, keep his ways. And thy days may be long in the earth which the Lord thy God giveth thee. And many will bless thee. How can I further prepare myself for this work? Study to show self approved unto God, rightly divining the words of truth, and keeping self unspotted from the world. How may one do this? That sounds beautiful, yet made us become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. In seeking God's ways, God's understanding, through the way that has been shown by his Son in the earth. He went about doing good day by day. Not any great revelation, not in the fanfare of trumpet, not in segregating self from the world. But being in the world was not of the world, rather that the world through him might know more of the Father's love for those in this material plane. Hence we, as his brothers and sisters, as his emissaries, as true children of light, may do likewise day by day. A kindness shown here, a gentleness shown there, no harsh word to those that falter. Rather give for such a constructive thought, that they, too, on the morrow may speak gently, even to an erring son. Then, as ye grow in grace, using that thou knowest to do, there is given strength, hope, and peace. Such peace as the world, or the rabble, knoweth not, But that which even in the face of seeming disaster makes it possible that through tears there may come the shining light of his love, that ye may pass on to those that ye meet. Yea, in the street, in the home, in the quietness of thine meditations, in the throng. And that every thought, every act, becomes a song in the heart and a joy in the service of being not just good but good in his name. As has been given, do that thou knowest to do today, and then the next step may be given thee. For ye know that ye are studying to show self approved unto that consciousness, that awareness, and are keeping self unspotted from that thou knowest that might, would or could, cause thy brother to be offended. And ye come more and more, by such living, to the awareness of his presence abiding with thee. Not unto vainglorying, not unto self-consciousness. But rather that, here am I, Lord, use me. Let me be that channel of blessing to someone today. That thy love, thy glory, thy oneness, may be the greater manifested in not only my experience, but those that I contact day by day. Let the law of the Lord, as thou knowest it in thine heart, be the rule of thy life. And thy dealings with thy fellow man. And ye will find that the growth of the mind spiritual, of the mind mental, of the body physical, will open the way for thee, day by day. For, as those laws that become as but watchwords to many on the tower, there is a whole day's work before thee each day, with all its glorious opportunities of seeing the glory of the Lord manifested by thine own acts. Yet if that which confronts thee makes for discouragement, harshness of words, lack of enthusiasm, or those things that make for doubts or fears, the opportunity has turned its back. And what is the outlook? Doubt and fear. Study, then, to show thyself approved each day. Do what thou knowest to do, to be aright. Then leave it alone. God giveth the increase. Thy worry, thy anxiety, only will produce disorder in thine own mind. For the application in self, the try, the effort, the energy expended in the proper direction, is all that is required of thee. God giveth the increase. Please advise me how I may be of the most help to my father, Atlanta, Georgia. We haven't father. The best application of self is respecting any individual. Father, mother, brother, or what? Is to let thy life be in thy associations with each the reflection of that thou thinkest of thy God. This makes for a life of service, or the using of life that the Father, the Son, may be glorified in the earth even as in heaven. Yet as ye enter into thy temple, where he hath promised to meet thee, cleanse thyself in body, in mind, in the manner as seemeth good to thee. Whether washed with water, washed with blood, or with incense, or in music, or in the din of the city or in the quiet of the forest. For though ye take the wings of the morning and fly to the utmost parts of heaven, ye will find him there. And though ye sink to the depths of hell, ye will find him there. And he hath promised, and as he hath given, though the heavens and the earth fail, and though they pass away, my word and my promise shall not pass away. And his promise has been, when ye call I will hear. That there are physical defects in the structural portion, or in apparent manifestations through the mental, that are prenatal in their basic forces, is too often condemned by the entity. And if there is the proper understanding of that which is life in a manifestation, and the spiritual force that prompts the activity of same, these may be by all better understood. Hence in this particular body, rather than condemning, rather than closing self to the abilities in self or the opportunities wherein there may be made manifest in self, that there is no condemning, but rather that self may use the opportunity, the privilege, to manifest under handicap or under those conditions that are existent within self. For the better manifesting of the love that is shed among men, through the activities in any one experience or environ. Take time to be holy, but take time to play also. Take time to rest, time to recuperate. For thy master, even in the pattern in the earth, took time to rest, took time to be apart from others, took time to meditate and pray, took time to attend a wedding, to give time to attend a funeral, took time to attend those awakenings from death, and took time to minister to all. So in learning thy experience in the earth, not as routine but at regular periods have thy rest, have thy labors, do feed the mind. Do feed the soul just as it is necessary to feed the physical man, and these will declare just as much dividend as does that necessity of feeding the body. Without that to be masticated, and without its mastication, it is indigestion and suffering. So with the food for the mind and the soul, it must be masticated and put to use, and these will bring much more harmonious experience. For ye need those companionships that are in accord with thine own ideas, and ye will find them if ye seek. For as has been given, behold, I stand at the door and knock, if ye will open I will enter. This is not merely a saying, for thy mind seeks a savior, but most of all companionship of the Master draws that which will bring succor and understanding, peace and harmony. For ye remember, as has been given, do know that offenses come, but woe unto him by whom they come. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. For I have overcome the world. And in him may ye overcome the world. As has been indicated, in that particular experience there were still those who were physically entangled in the animal kingdom with appendages, with cloven hooves, with 4 legs, with portions of trees, with tails, with scales, with those various things that thought forms, or evil, had so indulged in as to separate the purpose of God's creation of man, as man. Not as animal but as man. And the animal seeks only gratifying of self, the preservation of life, the satisfying of appetites. With infinity injected in same brought the many confused activities or thoughts that we know now as appetites. Yes, a dog may learn to smoke. Yes, a horse may learn to eat sugar. But these are not natural inclinations. Rather man's influence upon these activities by associations. It has been given by him, the giver of all good and perfect gifts, that if ye would know thyself, if ye would know thy Maker, then know thyself. By that ye meet to thine brother in relationships, or as standardized by that thou holdest in thy consciousness as the ideal manner. The ideal manner was set by him that gave, if ye abide in me and I in the Father, what ye ask, that ye ask, whatever ye ask in my name, that shall ye experience in thine own consciousness. How does one, then, approach same? The activity is as the seed sown, which has within same, every act, the fruit thereof. For the first law is, like begets like. And what ye sow, ye shall reap. It is, then, how ye meet that ye reap in thine relationships one to another. As he has given, it is in patience with self, in patience with thy friend, in patience with thy foe, that ye become aware of thine soul. That it, thy soul, is in the activities thereof. Prompted through the mind of same in accord with or bearing fruit of life or death, good or evil. That thou hast set as thine ideal. Then, the first law of knowing self, of understanding self, is to become more and more sincere with that thou doest in the relationships one to another. For the proof of same is the fruit thereof. And when thou hast found the way, thou showest the way to thy brother. These be the manners. These be the ways in which each entity, the sentity, may know that there is the access to the Father through the Son in the self, through that which he has promised. For the maker of that which comes into materiality as a force, as a power that is adverse to creative forces or to the generations of what is constructive, is man. Or the selfishness in his experience. But the ego turned in the other direction may be, and is the constructive force in the experience of each soul. expressed in the I am being one with the I am presence. Then, in making practical or concrete activity of the entity in its experience, first enter in as through the meditative forces within self. Through the purifying of the body, of the mind, that it may be one and in accord, in attune with the creative forces from within. Setting the ideal in him who has promised to meet thee in the Holy of Holies, in the temple of thy soul, in thy own body consciousness. Thus does the self, the I am, become aware of that presence. And in meeting day by day in the walks with thy fellow man, sow those seeds that ye would reap in thine experience. For they, the seed ye sow, become, as it were, thine own self. For each soul meets that it is meted unto the fellow man. For as he gave, as ye do it unto the least of these, my little ones, ye do it unto me. Psychic is of the soul, then, first becoming aware of its inactivity or activity toward the Creator within thine own experience. Not as from without. For the external experiences will be the natural result when the self is attuned. As ye attune thine own mechanical instruments to the vibrations of this or that sending influence, ye receive that which is being sent out or vibrated upon that plane. So is thy body, thy mind, thy soul, as the sending, as the receiving, as the giving forth in thine activities and thine walks before men. This, then, is the manner. Enter ye in at the gate called Strait, through thine own preparation in thine own manner, and meet him there. For thy body is the temple of the living God, of thy living soul. Thy body is the temple that must be, should be, will be kept holy, if ye will know thy true relationships to thy Maker. Keep the trust thou hast in the all-creative forces. Knowing he is able to keep that thou committest unto him against any experience that may arise in thine own activity. Keep the self in such a manner as to be circumspect in thine own consciousness. Be true to self, making for those activities that bear the fruits of the Spirit. Just being kind, just being gentle, just being patient, just showing fellowship, just showing brotherly love. Just bearing witness in thy walks, thy acts, thy understandings unto thy fellow man. And ye shall know him face to face. For he hath promised to bring to such the remembrances from the foundations of the earth, of the world, of the universe. For thou wert in the beginning, even as he. How can I develop a clearer spiritual understanding? Learn to know what is thy ideal. To each individual. For, the Spirit answers to spirit within, and that becomes wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge without wisdom, as the entity experienced in Atlantis, may become dangerous. But love and its fulfillment is the beginning of wisdom. Then as the sun is the way, so is the mind the builder. That makes for both at one-ment with him, and a condition of being at variance with him. He having passed this way makes the way for each soul to find. As thou hast seen, as thou hast experienced. The manner of administering or applying the ideal chosen by self. 4. Know that each soul is a free-willed individual and chooses the way in the application. For it is either the co-worker with God in creation. And creative then in its attitude, in its thought, in its application of tenets and truths day by day. Or in attune with that which is at variance, and thus besetting or putting stumbling blocks in the way of others along the way. Each soul must choose of itself whom it will serve. Self, the glorifying of fame or fortune as partakes of material things. Or that which is said in the ideal who thought it not robbery to make himself equal with God, but went about doing good. As ye have experienced, as ye have seen. Thus there is innately the soul's abilities to analyze conditions, manners, ways and means, but prompted ever by that which is the way.